Good morning, Wednesday, February 5th, a.k.a. the last Wednesday before the Super Bowl. I'm here with Elena Ciccotelli. We're going to talk about all kinds of things EVs, but of course, you know what else we're going to talk about? The birds.
Go bird.
Go birds.
I don't think we're wearing enough eagles.
This is a super huge divergence for me. I mean, I typically keep it real straight, but I have my Love People More Than You Love Cars Go Birds edition, which we sold all the ones basically that I ordered. I know you have one. I actually put on where's the logo? I put on an Eagles hat today. It's not like the Eagles in the front logo, but it's on the side, and I got the green in the back. I know you're planning on Friday because you're co-hosting on Friday. So Friday, it's all in.
Friday, it's all in. We did discuss the attire for both of our respective dogs.
Yes.
I know Louis is also getting into the spirit. Bear is going to have his Eagles bandana. I mean, it's just it's going to be on.
It's game on. Like if you're a Chiefs fan, you've been to the Super Bowl.
Sorry.
You've won 2. You're trying to win 3. I get it. But if you're an Eagles fan, this is like a really special personal moment, and we're already trying to hedge ourselves against what if we lose and how we're going to feel that night.
Before we hit record, we were already just saying, okay, what were the rules that you have at your house?
Yeah. Because my kids, we're having a bunch of people over, which I'm like half excited about, half not excited about because it's a super important game. I was like, all right, your friends can come over. 2 rules. Number 1, we watch the game. Number 2, if the Eagles lose, the TV goes off immediately and the party is over. That's what happened last time when we lost that last Super Bowl. We were actually on vacation, and literally the second the clock, because we were upset about that terrible call on that end of the game, and literally the play ended. I hit the button, and like literally my family did not say a word about it. We just like went to like, what are we gonna have? What are we gonna eat? Going to bed. We woke up the next morning, right? We had breakfast. We didn't even talk about it.
You're like automatic in mourning.
True,
yeah,
right?
Just completely like
we covered all the Eagle stuff in the house with a black blanket for 7 days. Yeah, we had to heal.
Oh man, it's a journey.
It is. Look, let's talk a little bit about NADA because we just went to the show. It was a wild ride to get there. Everyone had their story. You made it. You flew through Orlando. You made all these extra plans, but you spent a lot of time on the ground there. What was your takeaway from NADA show?
Yeah, it was great to see everybody in person, but I do have to comment, the one time that I saw you in person, Paul, was at the dang airport.
The check-in.
In the check-in, when we were literally like leaving. I'm like, oh, there's Paul.
I know it. I know it.
But no, it was great. I had, just a ton of fun recording content on the ground, just like you guys are doing. We had so many cool guests on the show. We had the Tesla Model X with the Falcon doors.
Yeah, that's so much fun. That'll never not be fun.
Ever. I know, ever. It's just a lot of fun, and we just kept it light and flexible, right? Because I feel that you had to really, especially for this NADA show, you had to just roll with the punches. Mm-hmm. And I know you guys, especially with your production schedule, I know for mine, it was like, you gotta stay flexible and things. Anyway, it all worked out. It was great. Actually, one of the episodes we did at NADA is live today. So
hey, where can people see it?
Yes, they can go. Apple, Spotify, all the good places, also LinkedIn, and shout out to Pure Cars who went and they did this episode in the Tesla Model X. So it was fun.
Love it. So that's EVs, the number 4, EVS, the number 4, everyone, right?
.com. Yes.
.com, right. Go listen to it. Check it out. .com. All right, let's talk about some news before we talk about the Eagles for 15 minutes and then sign off. There's one that I'm really curious. Our third story. I'm like, did you hear about this? What do you know about this? But the first story, Toyota is accelerating its electrification strategy in both the U.S. and China with a significant investment in battery production and a focus on hybrid vehicles. No surprise there. Toyota is going to begin producing batteries at its new North Carolina plant. in April, initially for hybrid vehicles before expanding into full EV production. The Liberty, North Carolina plant will start with 3 battery lines for hybrids, adding a 4th soon after. By 2030, it looks to have a 30 gigawatt hour capacity. Toyota is also launching a wholly owned subsidiary in China to build Lexus EVs with a Shanghai plant capable of producing 100,000 per year starting in 2027. Toyota CFO Yoichi Miyazaki emphasized the importance of hybrids, stating, quote, "Demand for hybrid vehicles is quite strong in the United States. We will solidify our production by producing batteries for hybrids first." They're keeping a cautious eye on potential new tariffs, obviously, but they're kind of deploying a wait and see strategy there. So Toyota's coming in strong with more hybrids.
I think it's this wait and see approach. It's like a suspenseful game of Mario Party, right? Except the prize at the end is like how much more expensive your car is going to be,
or
right?
not, or not,
or not, right? So we're gonna again this wait and see. Look, I think Toyota is they're doing what they do best. They are, evaluating the situation, looking at sales, and I think as we get further and further into the year, and I know we're going to talk about this next with Ford, like the drivetrains.
Yeah.
Still, like, let's confuse people even more.
Add more letters. Let's add more letters around
more acronyms
around EV, like before it, after it. I kind of feel like it's my last name is Daly, but people are always adding I's and E's and things like that. So maybe it's the same, the same thing. Speaking of the same thing,
segue
time. All right, kind of EVs. EVs and autonomy really do go hand in hand. And nearly 2 months after announcing they would no longer fund autonomous vehicles, the subsidiary Cruise, GM subsidiary, they're officially shutting down their robotaxi operations, leading to mass layoffs, including CEO Mark Whitten and several top executives. That's the thing when you lay off the CEO. These layoffs impact nearly half of their 2,100 employees, with affected staff receiving severance and benefits through April, and LinkedIn Premium for a year to assist with a job search. First I ever heard that. GM has now absorbed Cruise fully, ending its robotaxi ambitions and focusing all that attention. So the people they kept are to focus on the hands-free driving system, Super Cruise, and future autonomous vehicles. Basically, competition is getting too hot in that area, and they say the cost it would take to scale the business effectively is just not worth. The juice just isn't worth the squeeze for them. So have you ever been in an autonomous vehicle?
Yes, in Arizona, I took the Waymo a couple of times. Really cool, but I have to say with the LinkedIn premium subscription, I mean, nothing really softens the blow of losing your job, like a year of LinkedIn.
They should have bundled in like some Netflix
premium.
and Disney Plus,
right? It's like, really, guys? I don't know.
We're gonna help you on our job search. Here's like, how much does it even cost? Here's $49
it's like,
a month.
It's $0 for the first month, but it also
for 30 days.
Yeah, for 30 days,
no.
right? You get $0 free. But I think it's another example of autonomous, like, still being more like way more years out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, we did. Waymo is here, but with so many regulations. But gosh, that's an expensive U-turn, really.
It is. I mean, I guess it's more expensive to keep driving down the road. You just think of the other companies though have entered the space. And when Tesla comes into the space and says, we're going to go fully vertical, they obviously have the most advanced autonomous, internally owned stuff. Now they can produce the cars, and they know they have the capability of building a functional app that's really great. They already have one for Tesla vehicles. So I think when GM's like, what are we going to compete on? It's like, you can't win all the fights. And I think they know that's a fight that they just can't win. And I also don't think they would have any kind of shareholder support. And the tolerance for losing money on EVs is like gone now.
Is zero. I think it's like -5 now.
It is. It is. Remember last year, Ford was like, we lost $36,000 per EV sold.
Yeah.
I was just telling you that, I'm in the market. I was talking to Steve Greenfield about this when he was co-hosting on Monday. In the market for my first EV. I'm considering actually a pickup truck, which is totally left field for me because I've never owned one. So I've been looking at this, some Ford F-150 Lightnings, and I realized like Ford lost $36,000 when they made this. When I was looking at yesterday, it was like a 2023 Platinum. It was $57,000 with 10,000 miles on it. And you know what the sticker is on that from a year ago? 115 grand.
Yeah. See, wow.
It literally depreciated like $1.30 or 40 per mile.
Right.
Over 10,000 miles.
I know. Yeah. Well, but at the same time, like driving that F-150 Lightning, you don't feel like you're driving a pickup truck. Like you feel like you're driving a really nice luxury vehicle. So
it's funny because I'll probably end up buying one sight. That goes a long way because I'll probably buy one like sight unseen.
It's I don't know. Actually, you know what? I drove it at a SoduCon. Jeez.
You did?
Yes. We had the anyway. Yeah.
We need to do like
a side story.
We should try to get. We're just brainstorming now on a SoduCon. No. We should try to get like a little EV test track because they got that huge parking lot right next door.
Yes.
Like to go out there and have like 10 EVs out there
and just drive them.
Well, like John, we'll get John Foley. Like, John, we need a carrier, right? You're not that far from there, right? You can get there in like 3 hours, 4 hours. I don't know how many hours. EV test track. That would be so much fun to host conversations out there.
And also, if you haven't driven you get that like instant acceleration. I'm already selling Paul on an EV.
The F1, no, like literally your explanation of the F-150 Lightning, saying no, it doesn't feel like this.
I'm
feels
not a
like
truck
this.
person. Yeah,
but it doesn't feel like it. I've never driven one. I've driven a Cybertruck, and I will say, like, as big as that vehicle is, it just doesn't feel like a big vehicle because you have so much control over the braking, over the acceleration.
Correct.
That one did have the 4-wheel steer, which definitely made the U-turn surprise the crap out of me. It was pretty awesome. Well, speaking of,
you turn on Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Turn on what?
FSD. Did you turn on FSD when
I
you did?
I did.
Right.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was fun.
Okay.
Well, speaking of Ford, let's just keep talking about Ford. Time. Not even intentionally, but here it is. Let's add some more letters. Ford is betting on now an EREV or an EREV. At least this one sounds kind of fun when you say it. An EREV. That's what we're going to call it. Extended range electric vehicle. This is an EV with a gas-powered generator for extra range. So it's basically aligning with Ford's focus to meet consumer demand for EV efficiency without sacrificing range. Ford's EREV models will include Super Duty trucks, F-150s, Expeditions, Explorers, Broncos, and Mavericks. CEO Jim Farley was reportedly impressed by the success of EREVs in China and sees them as an affordable, practical alternative to full EVs. They expect EREV versions within 2 years, but also expect confusion as dealers and buyers adjust to yet another drivetrain option. So, Elena, explain the difference between an EREV, I'm just going to keep calling it that, and a hybrid, which both have a gas-powered engine and a battery.
Yeah, so the EREV is, you want to think of it more along the lines of you have your like BEV capability, right? Your battery pack, but it's in reserve is that gas generator, right? Yep. So that's for the extended range portion of it. But again, back to the confusion, it's like, guys, we didn't even get like BEV and PHEV straight in everyone's mind. But again, I think this is rolling out in 2027. I believe says 27 or 29. No,
Nathan, do you see a reference 27. On that? Nathan, is it 27?
I think it's
he's gonna fact that. Okay, so
fact checking. Just keep talking.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but again, it's another piece of the puzzle that salespeople need to grapple with.
Yep.
Educate again. I talk about education all the time. Consumer education. It's it's almost like your car can now do yoga. Like it's super flexible with energy. Like it can.
I guess. Okay, so and I don't know how these run. So you have a generator that is just generating electricity as opposed to a hybrid where you have a generator that's actually powering a drivetrain as well and the battery's assisting it. So an EREV will have all electric motors and an EV powertrain. And then you'd have this generator that can add range to the battery life. And I'm assuming too, like when the car's parked, right? The generator can just be running, charging. The battery can probably also be running while you're driving to like slow down how fast it depletes. It won't be able to, obviously keep up with how many miles you're draining. But I mean, if it's cheap to do, which it sounds like it could be, because you think of like, what is just a little Honda generator cost, right? You get those little ones, you get a really nice quiet one for like $1,000, and it could just be like plugging away in the background, just turning that generator, adding, I don't know, it probably can add, I'm going to guess, it's just total guess. I'm going to guess it can add 20 miles an hour, like per hour of running. And those generators can run for a really long time on a really small tank of gas.
But then also too, you're thinking about how much is peace of mind worth to the consumer?
Right. So if it's if you need a smaller battery in the car, right? Or instead of putting a much larger battery in that will cost like thousands and thousands, instead you have like a $1,500 upfit where this generator goes in the car and just tucks away, and the customer's like, I'll never get stranded. Right. It's pretty good.
It's at point when if you're talking about at point of sale, then again, it's trying to fit all of these different options. I will say though, it is a really super exciting time to be like in this retail space because there are so many options now.
I know. Sometimes, but I think your first point, option paralysis, can definitely, when people are confused, they usually just step away from it.
Oh, and then they're like, oh, then
never mind.
They'll do the wait and see.
I'll go gas. I'll go hybrid. So Nathan says it's unclear on the timeline. He's seen things that say within 2 years or at least 2 years. So
okay.
Well, I mean, they did. This does feel like a lot of, I don't know. We'll say we could call it hype, but we could call it optimism. That when we do this, it's going to include Super Duties, F-150s, Expeditions, Explorers, Broncos, Mavericks. Not all of them have a battery powered train right now, right? There's no EV platform for half of those.
But then also too, is this posturing to be competitive?
Yes, because it's a publicly traded company, and making an announcement like this. Jim Farley's been around the block several times, right? He knows an announcement like this is going to be received like, oh, wow, this is the first I've heard of this drivetrain. He's saying they're doing it over there in China. Ford's on the move. I feel more confident that, my people are looking forward. Who knows? I'll tell you one thing. They will not be losing $36,000 per vehicle on these.
No,
they'll never be able to do that again.
That was a one and done.
Yeah, without a doubt. All right. Last but not least, we usually don't talk about 4 things, but our editor friends over at cars.com just released this morning their best of 2025 awards. And since we're talking about EVs, let's talk about the one that won. It's the Kia EV9. Won this year's Best EV Award. Have you driven an EV9? What are your thoughts? Is that the best one?
I haven't. Okay, so I haven't driven the EV9, but I will say it is such a beautiful car. Like
I haven't even seen one in person.
Didn't Nathan drive one? Hold on a second.
Nathan, it was an EV6. We had a 6, not a 9.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The 9 looks cool because it's like the big boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so again, like model availability makes so much sense. Like you can that's definitely a family car for sure. But yeah, good job, Kia. I mean, it's a great car. So
I mean, they've been so good. I mean, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 won 2 years in a row. So Hyundai, Kia, they're just putting out good, reliable EV powertrains that people are trusting. Obviously, who has an EV9? Bob Lonham with Cardinal has an EV9. So if you have any questions, ask him about it. But thanks to our friends at cars.com for always just letting us know what the editor's picks are, because their people actually drive the cars. They write on the cars. They hear consumer feedback about the cars. So I kind of feel like they're pretty close to the consumer, right? Like Consumer Reports is really thorough too, but cars.com has all of the consumer sentiment and feedback immediately, millions. So I don't know. That's cool. If you want to see the full list, you can go to cars.com/awards. Elena, it's been so much fun to spend some time with you this morning. We're going to get our Eagles jerseys polished up. So Friday morning when you're back, it's going to be, and if you're a Chiefs fan, show up in the comments, heckle us. We love it. See you tomorrow.